Hi y'all, you're watching the Big Jim Country Boy YouTube channel. Yeehaw!
Have you ever wondered how to make a fiddle at home? The process might seem daunting, but with a bit of patience and the right materials, it's more than achievable. First, let's talk about materials. The heart of your homemade fiddle is going to be the wood. You're going to want to use hardwoods like maple, cherry, walnut, or poplar. These woods are sturdy and resonant, which means they're going to give your fiddle that rich, full sound you're looking for. The wood should be at least 3/4 of an inch thick to ensure it can withstand the tension of the strings. Now you might be thinking, I don't have a forest in my backyard. Where am I going to find this wood? Not to worry. Many local lumber yards or home improvement stores carry these types of wood, and for those feeling particularly adventurous, you could even salvage wood from old furniture or other items. Just remember, the quality of the wood influences the sound of your fiddle, so choose wisely. Next, you're going to need a template. This will help you create a mold for the ribs, front, and back of the fiddle. You can find templates online, or if you're feeling artistic, create your own. The template is your roadmap to building the fiddle, so take your time to get it just right. Now, what's a fiddle without a bow? You can create a makeshift bow by rubbing dried pine sap on a smooth stick to make what's called a rosined stick. It might not be a traditional bow, but it'll get the job done. One final, and perhaps the most important ingredient in fiddle making, is patience. Tuning the thicknesses of the wood can take a long time. It's a process of whittling down, testing the sound, and whittling some more. It's a labor of love, but the end result is well worth it. With patience and the right materials, anyone can create a beautiful and functional fiddle at home. So are you ready to embark on this journey of craftsmanship and music? Let's dive into the world of fiddle making. The first step in making a fiddle is preparing the wood. And not just any wood. We're looking for hardwoods, which are known for their resilience and sound quality. The likes of maple, cherry, walnut, or poplar make excellent choices. Each of these woods has its own unique attributes. Maple, for instance, is highly durable and yields a bright, clear tone. Cherry, on the other hand, produces a warmer sound. Now, once you've chosen your wood, it's time to prepare it. You'll want it to be at least 3/4 of an inch thick. This thickness is vital. It ensures that the wood can withstand the tension from the strings without warping or cracking. Preparing the wood also involves drying it properly. This process, often overlooked, is crucial to prevent the wood from shrinking or expanding due to changes in humidity. You wouldn't want your hard work to be ruined by a warped piece of timber, would you? So, you're probably wondering, how do I dry the wood? Well, once you've cut your chosen hardwood into the required thickness, you'll need to let it dry naturally. This could take a few months, but patience is key here. You can also quicken the process by using a kiln, but be careful not to over-dry it, as it could lead to cracking. Remember, the goal here is to achieve a balance between flexibility and strength. The wood needs to be flexible enough to vibrate and produce sound, yet strong enough to withstand the tension of the strings. It's a delicate balance, but with patience and care, you'll get it right. Once you've dried your wood, it's time to inspect it. Look for any knots or cracks. These could affect the sound quality of your fiddle, or even lead to structural issues down the line. If you find any, it's best to discard that piece and start afresh. In the end, preparing the wood might seem like a tedious process, but it's a vital step in the journey of crafting a fiddle. It sets the foundation for everything that follows. Remember, the beauty of a fiddle isn't just in its sound, but also in the craftsmanship that goes into building it. Once the wood is properly prepared, we can begin to shape it into the body of the fiddle. Now that our wood is prepared, it's time to shape it into the body of the fiddle. This is where our fiddle truly begins to take form. Shaping the body is a delicate process, requiring patience and careful craftsmanship. We begin by using a template, a guide that helps us create the mold for the ribs, front, and back of the fiddle. The template is a critical tool for this process, helping us to ensure that each piece is consistent and fits together perfectly. For the ribs, we'll need to slowly bend the wood to form those classic curves of the fiddle's waist, upper, and lower bouts. This involves heating the wood and gently coaxing it into shape, a process that, like so much of fiddle making, can't be rushed. Next, we turn our attention to the front and back of the fiddle, also known as the belly and the back. These pieces are carved from solid blocks of wood, hollowed out to create the resonating chamber. This is where the magic happens, where the string's vibrations are amplified to produce the fiddle's rich, sonorous tones. The front or belly of the fiddle is slightly arched, providing structural strength and helping to shape the instrument's sound. The back too is carved with a gentle arch, mirroring the curve of the belly. Each piece is carefully thinned toward the edges, a process called graduation, which helps to optimize the fiddle's sound. Once all the pieces are shaped, they are assembled to form the body of the fiddle. The ribs are glued to the front and back, creating a hollow shell. This is a critical stage, as the alignment of these pieces will significantly affect the sound and playability of the fiddle. With the body of the fiddle shaped, we can move on to creating the rest of the fiddle. The next step in the process is creating the neck and the head of the fiddle. This is where things get really interesting. Crafting the neck and head of your fiddle will require a bit of finesse, but with some patience, you'll get it just right. Let's start with the neck. For this, we're going to use white oak, a strong and durable wood that's perfect for this job. First, you'll need to shape the neck. This involves carving the wood into a long, slender form that's comfortable to hold and play. Remember, the neck is where your fingers will dance along the fingerboard to create those sweet, sweet melodies, so it's important to get it just right. Once you've carved out the basic shape, you'll need to join two pieces together. This is a delicate process, but don't worry. With a bit of patience and a steady hand, you'll have a beautifully crafted fiddle neck in no time. Now, let's move on to the head of the fiddle. This is where the tuning pegs will be housed. The head needs to be sturdy enough to hold 4 tuning pegs, which will be made from black walnut. Black walnut is not only strong and durable, but it also has a rich dark color that gives your fiddle a touch of elegance. To create the head, you'll need to carve out a space for each of the 4 tuning pegs. It's crucial to make sure these holes are perfectly aligned and spaced properly. Once you've carved the holes, you can then craft your tuning pegs from your black walnut. Remember, these pegs need to be easy to turn but also hold their position well. This ensures that your fiddle stays in tune as you play. Once you've attached the tuning pegs to the head, you can then attach the neck to the head. Congratulations! You've just crafted the neck and head of your fiddle. With the neck and head complete, we are almost finished with our fiddle. The final steps in making a fiddle include adding the strings and making a bow. Now it's time to turn this wooden sculpture into a musical instrument. Let's start with the strings. We're going to use nylon monofilament fishing line. You'll need 4 lines, each with a different thickness to ensure a variety of tones. Attach the strings to the tailpiece and loop them over the bridge, then thread them through the holes in the tuning pegs. It's important to wind the strings around the pegs in a way that they pull straight through. This ensures they won't slip out of tune. Now let's move on to the bow. You might be thinking that a bow is a complicated piece of equipment to make, but we're going to simplify it. We're going to make a rosined stick. You'll need a smooth stick and some dried pine sap. The sap is going to provide the friction needed to vibrate the strings and create sound. Rub the dried sap all over the stick until it's fully coated. The more you use, the stronger the sound will be. Remember, tuning the thickness of the wood and getting the strings just right can take time, so don't rush. This is a process that requires patience and precision. It's about more than just creating a fiddle. It's about the journey, the craftsmanship, and the joy of making something with your own 2 hands. Finally, after all your hard work, you'll have a functional folk fiddle made from locally sourced and salvaged materials. Just think about the stories you'll tell when someone asks about your unique instrument. You've not only made a fiddle, but you've also built a connection to the music. A connection that's as unique as the instrument itself. And there you have it, a homemade fiddle. It's a process that requires patience and precision, but the end result is a beautiful instrument that you can be proud to say you made yourself.